Sup, guys, this is Baseball for FPC, and today I'm bringing you episode 2 of my Interstellar Marines gameplay video series. Now, this is an updated version from episode 1, this is version 0.5.2, and so quite a few changes that were rolled out with this last patch, and so I'm really excited to bring you guys this new video in the series. So I guess we'll get started right off the bat here. I'm looking at the changelog that 0 Point Software released along with this patch. Probably one of the most noticeable improvements is the fact that you can now toggle between sprinting and walking. And so using the shift key for PC will obviously make your character go faster. However, with that, you also make a lot more noise. And I mentioned in episode 1 that this game is similar to Counter-Strike. Well, the reliance on sound in this game is what makes it really similar to Counter-Strike. And so being able to hear your enemies before you actually see them and sort of map out where they might be is a huge part of the gameplay. So with the added ability of walking versus sprinting, now you also have to juggle between, do I want to make more noise or do I want to get across this open ground a lot faster? So that adds a lot of value into the gameplay itself. Some of the other things that they added casings as well as smoke effects to the weapon, so now you can actually see the bullet shell casings ejecting from the submachine gun, as well as you can see some faint smoke effects as well as when you're firing. They also added the ability to change whether VSync was on or not. I always have it off in game, so this wasn't a huge deal for me. However, I know that some people really enjoy having VSync on because of the way that it prevents from tearing and stuff like that. I've never really bothered with it because it takes a huge hit on performance, and especially when I'm recording games, it really makes it a burden to actually have that on. One of the other cool things that they added was whenever you shoot against like a metal surface, there's a really bright flash. So if you were to spray your submachine gun against a metal wall, you see these really bright flashes, which is what you would see in real life. If a metal shell casing was hitting a metal wall at really high speeds, you see that spark, you see that flash. And so a lot of people won't notice that, but it is a really cool feature. And when you're playing in really dark environments, it does help to illuminate where you are. So you want to be careful about just spraying all over the place. They added some more post-processing effects, just some more options that you can toggle on and off. I haven't really checked out those just because I'm having a hard enough time recording and running this game at the same time. I get about 90 or probably 80 to 90 frames per second when I'm not recording, but that usually drops down to maybe 35. It varies between 35 and 60 when I'm recording, which is a pretty wide gap. So I generally have most of the effects turned off, just to increase the performance as much as I can. They've also have a list of improvements, a list of fixes, crashes, problems with Steam, stuff like that. They reduced the size of the red dot. I didn't notice much of a difference when I was looking at it, but that's one of the things that they changed. They also added the early access update number on the main menu, which is really good, especially if you're trying to keep track of which version you're on, especially for me since I'm doing videos based off of the new versions and stuff like that. So it's nice just having that visual cue telling you exactly what version you're having, or what version you have right now. And so that's basically all of the changes for update number 2. I'll provide the whole list, the whole changelog in the description of the video if you want to check out exactly what else was changed, what else was fixed, and so feel free to check that out in the description below. As I mentioned in episode 1, I'm really enjoying this game. I've gotten several hours into it. I didn't play that much since the last episode, but I did get in a couple matches. And so this is a new map. I don't know the maps by name, unfortunately. However, I am trying to get you videos showcasing you the different maps that there are. I think there's about 6 maps, 6-ish maps on the game, and so episode 1 was one map. This is obviously a different map. I'll try to get you different maps for the upcoming episodes just to show you the variations that there are. The one map that I believe I mentioned before in episode 1 at least was basically like a hangar level where because of the dynamic lighting and weather system, things can go pitch black, and so when you're in that hangar, it goes totally dark. And so I really want to get a video of that for you guys, because it really shows off the lighting and the need for actually using your flashlight, otherwise you're kind of just running into objects and stuff like that. So it's really fun to play on maps like that. It's really fun to play in the dark. That's probably one of my most enjoyable weather settings, is playing in the dark or playing in the total darkness. And you can see, I believe I've looked up once or twice, and you can see that we are in fact in a giant dome, and so that's how you have that dynamic weather system. It's basically like a giant training facility, and so you have that dome with the fake sun that goes across on, I don't know, like that row of, I can't even think of the name, but it changes from daylight to dusk to night to raining, etc. And so there is a snow map, however the weather doesn't change from being, I don't know, like not snow to snow. That's not one of the options, so wouldn't really expect that to be in a game like this. It's kind of out of place. But anyways, I actually did quite well on this game, or on this match. I kind of carried my team. You can see the scoreboard in the top right. I have that toggled on. You can keep that on or off. I like it. It's a nice way of keeping track of where you are in the scheme of things. This is a 4v4 match. I'll see about getting some 8v8 recordings for you guys. I'm not sure exactly how that plays out on these size maps, because 4 versus 4 is a pretty good number as it is. I'm not exactly sure how 8 versus 8 would work out. But you can see that the weather just changed right there from daylight to basically early nighttime, and you can see that the sun was moving across the screen right there. So I've got 11, it only shows you your kills on the scoreboard, so I've got 11 kills right now, as opposed to the rest of my teammates who have 3, 3, and 2 kills respectively. That's also contrasting the opposite team, who has 8, 5, 1, and 0. So there's not a whole lot of people who are playing. I usually only find about 1 or 2 servers with players on it. I think there's probably about 15 servers total, and so usually 1 or 2 of those servers actually has players in it. So not a lot of people playing it, but I still would highly recommend this game. It's cool to sort of jump in the production process and sort of see how games progress as they move along, because obviously games don't just start off being perfect masterpieces right when they're released. They have to go through a lot of phases, a lot of transitions before they're actually into that sort of polished piece that you see when they're actually released. So being able to see bugs, being able to see major changes throughout the development cycle is a really cool thing. And so I'm glad I picked this game up as an early access game. And so really looking forward to what other changes they have in store. I'm assuming they're going to be adding some sort of crouch feature, some sort of possibly prone. Although that would be kind of interesting, since a lot of games, or not a lot of games, but some games are sort of phasing out the prone, especially on multiplayer. They're phasing out the prone because of drop shooters and stuff like that. But would be interesting if they did include a prone. I figure they'll have some sort of jump animation. I would guess that that's or I wouldn't guess. I know that would be very useful, because there's some low-lying arches and stuff like that in that game that would be really helpful to jump over, or at least have some sort of mantling ability. That would greatly increase the value of this game. And so, as I've mentioned before, as you've probably, or maybe I haven't shown it yet, but there is the flashlight, there is the red dot, or the laser pointer, I should say, and you can see those from a really long ways away. There's one instance when I was playing this match that there was an enemy all the way across the other map, and I didn't see him, but I did see his laser pointer all the way on the other side of the map where I was, and so I was able to follow that pointer back all the way back to him, and I was able to get him. So that was pretty cool. I was like, wow, yeah, you can see that from quite a ways away, so you really want to be careful when you're using that. It does help to increase your accuracy when you're hip firing, but it does give away your position, so that trade-off is there again. One of the things that I should also mention is this was part of the updated changelog. It says that the gun model is affected by hip aiming, zooming, and movement speeds. So I'm not sure if this applies to people looking at your character or whether you can see it yourself. I didn't really notice a change, but apparently if you're running versus walking versus hip firing versus not, the gun model changes to sway back and forth or whatever. And so that is the end of this gameplay, guys. This was version 0.5.2, episode 2 of Interstellar Marines. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, later.